welcome back to the M&M podcast, also known as the Muscle Mommy podcast. It has been a while since our last sit down. I've been traveling a lot this year, and I finally just got back to being in one place, at least for a little while. That is until we move yet again, so we're preparing for that. All my stuff is still in storage, so that part won't be an issue. Just, moving's hard. It's never fun. If you've not been following along with my travels, definitely check out my vlog series. It's called Adventures with Hannah. It's a little campy, but I think they're kind of fun. I did put a lot of work into it. I have 7 episodes out so far, and they just follow my solo adventures through the western states of the US. I take you through all of Utah, California, Montana, Wyoming, Arizona, and New Mexico. Right now, we're just up through the Wyoming. We're in Wyoming in my current episode. So I'll be releasing one of those about every week, probably for the next 5 or 6 weeks, just to get you caught up through the present. And then we'll be following along on some weekend camping trips and solo adventures as well, but I'd like to continue to keep doing those. So this is your reminder to subscribe and like the videos. I really do appreciate any support. We're small, but we're trying to grow, and let me know what you want to see. I'm pretty flexible. I like to just do just about anything. So hope you enjoy those adventure videos. I enjoy going on the adventures, and I'm glad to be back just having a little chat with you guys. So I'm going to try to upload at least once a day this month, whether it be a short or a full video. Keep an eye out for more content just in the next couple of weeks. My goal is to become more consistent and just try to grow the channel a little. I want to experiment with different video formats, get a few shorter fitness videos and tutorials up there for you guys, and maybe even some outdoor and adventure tutorials as well. Let me know what you want to see. I want to keep this one kind of short today, but who knows, I kind of ramble. It will be a little different. I want to talk just a little bit about some personal stuff going on. So I've been struggling a lot lately with my confidence, which I feel like a lot of women who go to the gym and work out, I feel like that's a very common problem. But this is new to me just in the last few months, but I know I'm not alone in that. I know where the shift in my life, where that feeling is coming from. And so I want to discuss just kind of how that's affecting me and my life, and how I'm approaching my fitness, my nutrition, and just kind of life in general at the moment. My self-esteem has been really low, but we're aware of the problem. We're trying to fix it. So this will be more of a personal perspective about my recent experience with all of this, but I would love to hear your story in the comments if you're feeling down on yourself and why, or send me a message on my Instagram. Let's jump into it. So primarily, we will be focusing on, relationships, social media, fitness, how that kind of all strings together, and how that affects your confidence and your self-esteem. I have never been a person to think about adhering to societal beauty standards previously. Growing up, I kind of always thought of myself as just average, not beautiful, not ugly, but nothing really special. That was up until I started educating myself in fitness and getting in shape, and suddenly I felt great. It was like a switch flipped. I loved who I was becoming. I felt pretty. I felt strong and healthy. I was confident. I spent most of my young adult years just building on that because it was something that was so new to me. And I got to a place where I was really, really happy. In the last few months specifically, I have really witnessed my self-confidence, my self-esteem plummet to basically an all-time low. There are a few factors that contributed to this. One is my career shift. I'm in the middle of switching career fields, and I moved across the country. I'm starting not one, but 2 businesses, and I'm in the middle of finishing up my very first book and trying to get that published. These are all very exciting ventures, and I'm super grateful that I get to do all of this. But even so, there's that feeling of being spread thin. There is a lot of fighting with doubt, those negative thoughts that pop in your head telling you not to do this, people won't like it, and having to replace those thoughts with positive affirmations, which can be exhausting. This will go my way. My book will be published. My business will succeed. The other factor is that I realized that the people in my personal life were slowly chipping away at my self-esteem and my self-confidence. This was also accompanied with social media use and behavior, not just my own, but other people in my life. Relationships are hard in general and affect a lot in your life, but honestly, it's how they're approached by all individuals that determines whether or not they're a positive or a negative influence. And social media in general, that also applies. It depends on what you're using social media for, how you approach it, what kind of content are you consuming. And honestly, it can affect a lot in your life as well. So, my most recent relationship had a lot to be positive about. It was the first real love that I felt, and we didn't really have a lot of issues for the first few years. There was a lot of shared interests, a shared love for fitness, the outdoors, nature, and we had really great chemistry. There was lots of laughing all the time, and when it was good, it made me feel like I was, the only woman in the world. I felt beautiful, I felt sexy, I felt strong. Everything was great, and I was going out of my way to make this person feel good and make them feel the same way. For me, it's all about reciprocation. You give what you get. And I feel like if one person's not giving enough, then there's obviously a problem. But everything was good. Everything was great until it wasn't. Until my partner stopped making me feel secure in the relationships. All of the small acts of love stopped, as sometimes they tend to do in long-term relationships. And this is kind of where my relationship with social media began to change as well, because I started noticing, more and more photos that they liked on Instagram of other women who did not look like me, your typical Instagram model, the thirst traps that, everybody's on there posting these days. Women who were obviously beautiful, but also very clearly seeking male attention. And I started to notice these instances that these women were often very thin. They did not have athletic builds, and in some cases likely had, some sort of work done, plastic surgery or whatever, to enhance their features. One thing that I accepted a long time ago is that, I'm never gonna be skinny. I'm lean, but I'm never gonna be a size 0 or a size 2. I will never have long, thin legs, and I will never have slim shoulders. I honestly, even without being muscular, I have a very broad build. And that's just something that I accepted. That's something that I can't change about myself. And when I got strong, I loved that that's how I looked like. And I never felt insecure about it until I began to wonder if I was really the kind of woman that my partner wanted. They had stopped showing me that I was what they wanted months before, and in fact began showing me the opposite. And while I communicated my feelings about this, the behavior did not change. I began to look at more of these accounts, picking apart the way I looked. Why was I not good enough? Or how I could never be that beautiful? And that's what I was telling myself. And I started to feel like, I wasn't good enough in anything in this relationship, because that's how I was made to feel based on those behaviors. And then also my own personal usage of social media perpetuated that idea. But every time I brought those behaviors up, they were met with resistance, and the behaviors only escalated from there until it reached a breaking point for me. I won't get too in depth into it in here because it is very personal for me, and I don't like to share too much personal information. It's a private matter. But by the end of the relationship, I felt like I had been kidding myself. I no longer felt beautiful. I hated looking in the mirror. I couldn't stand my face. I hated photos of myself. I hated my muscles, which is absolutely absurd because, I was so proud of the strength that I had built that I built this body is something that I've put work into. But I suddenly wished that I did not look like this. I wanted to look like all of those other girls that I was seeing online. I wanted to feel feminine and beautiful, but knew that no matter how hard I tried, achieving that appearance was not possible for me. I started to look for ways to change my appearance. I never used to think about plastic surgery ever, but I found myself Googling, how to get a slimmer face, a slimmer jaw, better teeth. How much do veneers cost? How much is a nose job? How much is a boob job? How much is chin liposuction? I ended up getting dermal filler in my lips. I cut my hair. I stopped eating enough, thinking that maybe I needed to lose weight. I've been in the gym way more than usual, thinking that if I get fitter, then maybe I will feel better. It's a borderline unhealthy amount. And while being in the gym is kind of like my only place of refuge at the moment to kind of quiet my mind, it's definitely bordering along the lines of, a gym addiction, and I'm going an unhealthy amount. But, I'm aware of these behaviors. I'm trying to track these behaviors, and I'm approaching each one systematically, trying to fix them one at a time. So I'm starting with my nutrition. I'm trying to fuel my body for competition. I'm a competitive athlete. I will look like what I look like to be the best competitive athlete that I will be. I try not to look at social media accounts that don't offer value to me. I block, accounts that make me feel bad about myself. And I don't look at, who are other people following, like who's liking these photos or whatever. Like, there's no need. Like, that kind of behavior, you're only gonna get hurt looking at that shit. So I'm adjusting the way I use social media. I'm very active on social media. I post a lot, but I try not to just scroll through it, throughout the day. And if I do look at social media, it's usually things that I enjoy doing. So I follow a lot of outdoor accounts, a lot of weightlifting accounts and fitness accounts. And that's the stuff that I like, looking at these thirst trap Instagram model things, like, they're seeking male attention. What is that going to do for me? That's only going to make me feel insecure about my appearance. And we could get into a whole nother topic about how social media just kind of perpetuates this vicious cycle of keeping women down, and then like women trying to fit this unrealistic standard of what they should look like on a daily basis. But we're working on the issue. We're trying to rebuild everything. So one thing about social media is that most of these people on there are not real. I mean, they're real people, but the photos that they post on there are heavily edited. They're perfectly posed, perfect makeup, perfect lighting, perfect background. Instagram and everything is a highlight reel. It is a fantasy. It is so easy to forget what is reality and, what is right in front of you, and to appreciate what you are as yourself and what you've done in your life. So I am doing my best to rebuild a positive image for myself. If I tell myself something mean, like a mean thought about myself, I try to tell myself something positive. Like if I'm like, oh, I hate my nose or whatever, that's a weird example, but then I have to be like, all right, I gotta tell myself something nice. I love my shoulders. I like that I have strong shoulders, and I can be insecure about them, but they're strong. And the amount of dudes that come up into the gym and ask what I do for upper body is affirming that I have a good shoulders, good arms, whatever. I will no longer tolerate behaviors from people in my life that make me feel small or are meant to push me down. There is simply no room for that. Moving forward, I will take care to cultivate relationships in every part of my life that foster positivity, love, support, and that includes any social media interactions, whether personally or from people in my circle. I am of the mindset that if I do the work to maintain my appearance, to be so loyal, to maintain my health, and be a good partner, a good friend, whatever, I expect that same behavior and that same energy in return. And if I don't get that, then that is not a relationship that I am interested in continuing. The point of this story, the point of all of this emotional bullshit or whatever, is that who you surround yourself with, either online or in your life, it has a very direct impact on your self-esteem. If your relationships, whether romantic or with friends, have a negative impact on you, then either address it and fight to change the behaviors between the both of you that cause that negativity, or remove yourself from that situation. If being on social media makes you feel bad about your appearance or how you look, delete it or clean it out. Remove all of the accounts that you follow that make you feel that way. Seek out content that offers value to you and what you want to become. Don't put your energy into something that makes you feel bad. There is no room in your life for anything other than people and activities that lift you up and help you grow. These people will believe in you. They want you around them, and they want to be around you. You may have shared goals or shared interests, but appreciate the people in your life that have your back. When you are in a bad spot, it will be obvious who is there for you and who is not. You work hard to be the person that you are, and you deserve relationships and friendships that recognize that and affirm that. Anyways, I know that was a lot, but that is all I have for you today. A little bit more on the life advice end than anything else, and it was something that was on my mind, and I just needed to talk about it, so I felt like telling you all. Next time will be a little bit more fitness focused, and we will be talking about how to develop and maintain healthy relationships with food, whether you are an experienced gym rat or just starting out. So subscribe to tune in for that. Go check out my vlog series if you love to camp or travel. I think they're pretty fun. Like I said, they're a little campy, and I edit them on my iPhone. I film them on my iPhone, but I do put a lot of love and work into them. So thanks for listening all the way to the end today. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye.